My wife declared, "I'm taking you to court for alimony. I need $10,000 a month for my emotional suffering." I just smiled. Sounds about right. Then my attorney showed the judge 300 hours of hidden camera footage documenting exactly what that suffering looked like. The judge couldn't help but laugh. I'm Marcus, 39, the kind of man people describe as solid. I work in supply chain management. I pay my bills without drama. I never forget an anniversary. My wife, Diana, 36, used to say my reliability was her anchor. Somewhere along the way, that anchor started feeling like a ball and chain. It began roughly 8 months ago. Diana discovered wellness. Not the casual, let's add more greens kind. The full $600 a month supplement regimen, crystals arranged on the windowsill, and the complete audit of her aura type. I supported it. If it made her happy, I was on board. The centerpiece of this transformation was Cole, 27, her personal trainer. Cole wasn't just a trainer. He was a holistic life architect. Flawless smile, geometric tattoos, an Instagram account full of sunrise affirmations. Suddenly, every conversation at home ran through the Cole filter. Cole says my electrolytes are depleted. That's why I'm so short-tempered. Cole thinks you're carrying blocked energy, Marcus. He says your chakras are misaligned. He's helping me locate my inner fire. You've lost your fire, Marcus. According to the new household gospel, I was a dull, fire-free energy blockage. 3 months ago, she relocated to the guest room. I just need my own space to recalibrate, she explained. Your breathing at night is disrupting my spiritual frequency. I was hurt, but I didn't make a scene. Okay, whatever you need. Still, the house felt wrong, hollow. Then, 2 months ago, I came home early. My manager had cut us loose at 3 p.m. after we closed a major deal. I walked through the front door and immediately noticed it. The smell. Sandalwood and cedar. The expensive kind Cole promoted on his social media. Diana came rushing downstairs, clutching her silk robe shut. "Marcus, you're home early. I wasn't expecting you." "Yeah, we got let out. What's that cologne?" Her face flushed. "Oh, Stacy came by. She was testing a new fragrance sample." I knew Stacy. Stacy smelled like vanilla extract and secondhand smoke. This was a lie. A clumsy one. In that moment, the steady version of me went quiet. A colder, more calculated version stepped in. I wasn't going to yell. I wasn't going to accuse. I was going to gather evidence. I manage logistics for a living. I know how to track assets. That weekend, while Diana was away at a warrior goddess immersion, with Cole, I assumed, I made some upgrades to our home security. I purchased 3 compact, high-definition, video-only cameras in my own home, completely legal in my state, recording video without audio in common areas. One went inside the living room, tucked into a grotesque iron sculpture Diana had insisted on buying last year. $1,400 for what looked like melted scaffolding. One aimed at the kitchen island I just had installed. One sat on the hallway bookcase angled toward the front door. Motion activated. Then I waited. It took exactly 1 day. Monday evening, I reviewed the footage. Diana arrived home at 3 p.m. Cole showed up at 3:12. By 3:50, they were not working on her fitness. By 3:50, they had relocated to the living room couch. He left at 5:05. She showered, changed, and was downstairs blending a green smoothie when I walked in at 5:30, complaining about how exhausting her session had been. I didn't say a word. I copied the footage to an encrypted hard drive. I did this every single day for 2 months. Morning sessions when I left early, afternoon sessions during her private training blocks. A touching moment where they toasted my good whiskey to their exciting future together. I accumulated, by my count, just over 300 hours of her healing journey. I watched my marriage end in 1080p. The entire time I was still steady Marcus, still attentive. "How was your day, hun?" "Brutal. Cole really pushed me today. My emotional load is just overwhelming right now. He says I need to release it." "That sounds rough, babe." I nodded. I always nodded. Last week, she finally sat me down. She had her practiced expression on, soft grief mixed with quiet determination. "Marcus," voice thick with rehearsed regret, "I can't keep living this way. I'm suffocating. I've found my fire and she needs room to breathe. What are you saying, Diana? I want a divorce. I'm moving in with Stacy. I nodded. I understand. She looked almost disappointed, like she'd been expecting an explosion. That's all? You understand? You've made your decision. I respect it. I'll look into finding a lawyer. Good. She snapped back into character. I've already hired mine. Of course she had. The first letter from her attorney arrived shortly after. It was ambitious. Diana was claiming the marriage collapsed due to my emotional negligence, financial domination, and sustained psychological cruelty. The words practically glowed off the page. Me? Controlling? Abusive? The letter further stated that owing to her profound emotional distress, she was incapable of working and required substantial spousal support to maintain her accustomed lifestyle. I laughed out loud. I called my attorney, a relentless litigator named Patrick that a colleague had vouched for. Patrick, I said, we've got a situation, and I've got a hard drive. Update 1. 5 weeks in. The legal battle is running at full speed, and the audacity is something to behold. First, the police. 3 weeks ago, on a quiet Saturday afternoon, someone hammered on my front door. 2 officers. The senior one, Officer Reyes, looked like he'd been doing this 20 years too long. His partner was fresh out of training. Sir, are you Marcus? Yes, officer. Something wrong? We received the complaint from a Miss Diana. She claims you've locked her out of the residence and are illegally holding her personal belongings. Diana was on the sidewalk, eyes glistening on cue. Stacy stood beside her, rubbing her back. Quite the production. Officers, I said calmly, this is my home. I'm the sole name on the mortgage. Diana left voluntarily 3 weeks ago. She is no longer a resident. He's lying. He forced me out. He's keeping my grandmother's necklace in there. I stepped aside and pointed to my doorbell camera. That device records all arrivals and departures. Would you like to see the footage from 3 weeks ago, including Diana and Stacy making 5 trips to her car with 3 suitcases and, look at that, the very jewelry case she's referencing? Officer Reyes went expressionless. He walked over to Diana. I couldn't make out all of it, but I heard, "Ma'am, this is a civil matter. Please do not call 911 for this again." She wailed. They left. Score 1 for documentation. Next came the property retrieval. Her attorney sent a formal demand that Diana be permitted to collect her remaining belongings. My attorney, Patrick, arranged it. 1 hour, supervised by a stone-faced paralegal. Diana arrived with Cole. The sheer, unfiltered nerve of bringing her affair partner to collect her things from my home. Cole posted up in the entryway, arms crossed, trying to project authority in his $400 athletic wear. "Just get your things, Diana," I said, not even acknowledging Cole. She walked straight to the living room and pointed at the iron sculpture. "I want this. It's the only meaningful thing you ever bought me. It represents my journey." "She needs it for her healing space, man," Cole added, apparently. I nearly collapsed from the irony. She wanted to walk out with the very object hiding the primary evidence. I had of course already retrieved every SD card and the hard drive. The camera was now just a hollow lens mounted in overpriced scrap metal. I smiled. A big, genuine, warm smile. "You know what, Diana? You're absolutely right. Take it, please." She narrowed her eyes. Something was off, but greed won. Cole grunted and hauled a $1,400 eyesore out my front door. "Careful with it. It's fragile." I shot him a look. I have never been more at peace watching money walk out a door. Now, the money. Our first mediation session happened last week. Diana's attorney, Mr. Webb, opened with a performance. My client is suffering deeply. The emotional devastation of this hollow marriage has left her unable to seek employment. She experiences crippling anxiety. She is shattered. Living with your client was like living with a shadow. The psychological toll was constant and relentless. We are requesting $10,000 a month in temporary support and an immediate payment of $22,000 to cover relocation and therapeutic expenses. Diana looked directly at me. Cold, certain. I deserve it. I deserve to be compensated for everything you put me through. I deserve $10,000 a month for my suffering. This was the moment. I glanced at Patrick. He gave me the smallest nod. I turned to Diana. I smiled. You know what, Diana? You're right. That's completely fair. You should receive exactly what you deserve. Her expression lit up. Smug satisfaction bloomed across her face. Webb looked confused. Patrick quietly checked his watch. So we have an agreement? Webb ventured. No, Patrick said. My client said she deserves it. He didn't say he was paying it. We reject your motion. We'll see you at the temporary support hearing. We're genuinely looking forward to it. The color drained from Diana's face. We walked out. In the elevator, I had told Patrick about the sculpture. He actually laughed. The judge is going to enjoy this thoroughly. The hearing is in 2 weeks. She has no idea what's coming. She thinks I'm a burnt-out, passionless pushover. She forgot what I do for a living. I track, I document, I deliver. Final update. It's over. The hearing was yesterday. I barely slept last night, but it wasn't dread. It was adrenaline still working its way out of my system. We were in family court for the temporary spousal support motion. Our judge was the Honorable Judge Patricia Mills, a woman in her late 60s who looked like she'd personally witnessed every fabrication the legal system had ever produced. Diana took the stand first. Her attorney Webb walked her through a carefully scripted narrative. She cried, real tears this time, tears of pure self-pity. He was just absent. He'd come home and look right through me, cold, controlling. He made me feel worthless, invisible. And this emotional abuse, what did it do to you? I fell apart. I couldn't sleep. I stopped eating. I was afraid of him. I was a hostage in my own home. The suffering was unbearable. I'm not the same person. She was convincing, I'll give her that. I watched Judge Mills study me with measured severity. And this $10,000 a month, what would that cover? Therapy, wellness support, a secure place to recover. I can't work. I'm too damaged to function. Webb sat down with the air of someone who had just delivered a masterclass. Mr. Patrick's client, your response. Patrick rose. He was holding a sleek black external drive. Your Honor, we appreciate Miss Diana's testimony. It is, however, a complete fabrication from start to finish. My client was not distant or cold, not until he had substantial cause to be. Objection, argumentative. Sustained. Counsel, the point? The point, Your Honor, is the emotional distress Miss Diana describes at length. She claims she was broken, a prisoner, terrified. He set the drive on the table. This device contains over 300 hours of video-only surveillance, no audio, recorded in common areas of my client's property, which he solely owns, fully lawful under state statute. We have assembled a 5-minute highlight reel of Miss Diana's documented distress. Diana went from pale to chalk white. She stared at the drive like it was live ammunition. Objection, Your Honor, this is a privacy violation. It's tantamount to abuse. Recording video without audio in one's own residence is entirely lawful in this jurisdiction, Your Honor, unless Miss Diana wishes to argue she had a reasonable expectation of privacy on my client's kitchen counter. Judge Mills' eyes narrowed. I'll review this in chambers. We'd prefer to present it here, Your Honor. It speaks directly to the testimony just entered. Fine. Clear the gallery. Bailiff, seal the courtroom. The room emptied. Just us, the judge, and court staff. Patrick connected the drive to the courtroom's display system. This first clip is from February 14th, the day after Miss Diana alleges my client erupted over a credit card statement. The kitchen camera, Diana was not distressed. She was in lingerie, laughing, feeding Cole strawberries on the island I had just installed. Webb sank incrementally into his chair. Next clip. February 22nd, a date she testified she was unable to eat for 3 days following an alleged emotional outburst. Living room footage, Diana and Cole on the sofa eating my leftover pasta bake with their hands, both laughing. March 8th, the day Miss Diana claims she was too depressed to leave her bed. Front door camera, Cole arriving, Diana sprinting down the stairs and launching herself into his arms. It ran for 5 minutes, a documentary of her suffering, her laughter, her dancing, everything. Silence. Diana was crimson, visibly shaking. Judge Mills removed her glasses. She pressed 2 fingers to the bridge of her nose. Then she looked at Diana. And she laughed. Not a polite chuckle, a full, disbelieving, "Are you serious?" laugh. "Ma'am, you testified under oath that you were broken, that you were a prisoner, that you were afraid." I was. He drove me to it." "He drove you to what exactly? Perjury?" She turned to face the screen and back to Diana. "This footage shows a woman having what appears to be an exceptionally good time. The only distress I observe is the distress you're in right now, having been caught in a blatant material lie to this court." She pivoted to Webb. "Counselor, your client has just committed perjury. Her entire claim rests on emotional suffering that this video thoroughly, and I must say, graphically disproves. Do you wish to continue with this motion?" Webb looked like he was managing a medical situation. Your Honor, we withdraw the motion for temporary support." "You'll do more than that. Motion for temporary alimony is denied with prejudice. I'm ordering your client to pay Mr. Marcus's legal fees for this hearing in full. This was a bad faith filing built on deliberate fabrication. We're done." The gavel came down. Diana erupted. "You," she screamed at me. "You did this. You spied on me. You're sick." The bailiff was already moving. As Webb ushered her to the exit, I could hear him hissing. "You told me he was the abuser. You never mentioned there was footage." I walked out a free man. The divorce was finalized 6 weeks later. It was a reckoning. Because she had committed perjury under oath, she had no leverage left. The house had to be sold, marital property. But given the bad faith so clearly established, the judge awarded me 72% of the equity. Spousal support, 0. The judge ruled she was evidently capable of physical activity and therefore capable of employment. Legal fees, she was ordered to cover 50% of my total costs for the entire proceedings, citing her perjury and deliberate obstructive conduct. The sculpture, her attorney, in a last desperate attempt to extract something of value, argued that the $1,400 iron piece was a marital asset rightfully belonging to Diana. Patrick agreed immediately. "We insist she keeps it." I later heard from Stacy, who it turns out has no great love for Cole and reached out to apologize, that Cole, upon discovering his warrior goddess was now financially depleted, promptly rediscovered his own stagnant energy and ended things. Diana moved back into her childhood bedroom at her parents' house. She brought the sculpture with her. I hope she places it directly across from her bed, so that every single morning the first thing she sees is the $1,400 mistake that cost her over $200,000. As for me, I'm doing well. I bought a clean, quiet condo downtown. It smells like nothing. The silence is mine. It cost me a marriage to see who she really was. But watching that judge laugh? Yeah, worth every frame.